All right, what's going on, everybody? We got a Dandadan stream, finally. I don't think I streamed Dandadan last week, but we're reading Dandadan. I came back from break. I have not read the chapter yet, so I don't know what's going to happen. I do know last week's chapter was pretty intense, so yeah, I'm excited to see what's going on in Dandadan this week. We got Penji Prime. Yo, what's going on? Pleasure to have you. So we're gonna read the chapter. Like I said, I have not read the chapter, and then I do want to. I want to talk about a few things. I want to talk about Dandadan versus Chainsaw Man, and then I also want to talk about solo leveling, because solo leveling is interesting. Yo. Eden's, what's good? What's going on? Eden's, I've not read the chapter yet. I'm excited to read it. I know you I know you watch solo leveling, or I'm pretty sure you do. What did you think of the reception to this last episode of solo leveling? Chapter didn't come out today? Am I crazy? I thought it... Am I just behind? No, it came out. It came out today, March 3rd. We got Toad Sage. What's going on? Pleasure to see you. Pleasure to have you. Been a hot minute, Toad Sage. RNG Forever says no, Dandadan is overrated. Chainsaw Man is way better. I know, that's what I'm saying. Feel like I haven't seen you in chat for a hot minute, which is fine. Which is fine. Life happens. But I'm glad you're here now. New chapter did come out. Yeah, right. That's what I was... I'm not gonna lie. Eden's had me gaslit for a second. By the way, read, watch W. Kafu. Its Peak. I'm gonna have to take your word for that one. I've never heard of that. I think they nailed the scene with the mom. Hit harder than when I read. I've only read the first volume of Solo Leveling. At some point, I would like to read the manhwa, but I feel like the anime is just the all-around better experience. I'm sure, like, they're cutting some stuff. I keep seeing people saying they're cutting stuff from the manhwa, which, you know, always happens. And I'm sure there's scenes that are better in the source material, but I feel like the anime is the all-around better experience. That being said, I feel like with Solo Leveling, I said this on Twitter, I feel like the price of being so popular this season is that, like, it's like Demon Slayer. Like, you have all of anime fans watching it, so it gets kind of a different it gets kind of a different test for, like, what is a good episode. Ashi's said, hey, forgot to join the last stream. By the way, how was Dr. Stone episode 8 for you? So I'm like 2 episodes behind on Dr. Stone, admittedly. I know, I'm a terrible Dr. Stone fan. I'm only behind because I was working on the next batch of videos, which are out now. So I have all my time back. I've been doing the house chores that I keep saying I'm gonna do. I made a nice lunch today. So if not tonight, then definitely tomorrow night I'm gonna watch those Dr. Stone episodes, because I've been seeing... I did see that they kind of made that one chapter cover of Stanley in Xeno canon, the one where he's like kind of like over the shoulder hugging him. That was really cool. That was a nice nod to manga readers. So they have cut stuff from Solo Leveling, but nothing too crucial. Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like so again, this is A1 Pictures, right? You don't think about it necessarily, but this is the same. Excuse me. This is the same studio that did Sword Art Online. And say what you will about that first season and the second season, but overall, that's a great show. And I feel like they took everything they learned from that show and are now making this like god tier. Like every episode of Solo Leveling is amazing. I genuinely feel like there has not been a single bad episode yet. Excuse me. Jonathan says they're both really good and they're both on my favorites list. So Dandadan and Chainsaw Man. But I'll put Chainsaw Man above for its characters and how well they're crafted. Party GM says we're streaming again. We're so back. Yeah, I honestly, I hate having to rain check streams because I love chatting with you guys. And, you know, like this is how I engage. Like, it's one thing to post a video. It's another thing to actually like sit down and talk with you guys. So yeah, I hate rain checking streams. It's just, I literally had to. Life happened, stuff came up. And so I'm like, either I get these videos done or I post everything like a month late. Also, we got Panels to Screens, aka Mr. Saxy himself, who, if you're not familiar, if you're not a regular of the channel, Saxy is one of my editors. He's the editor that at the moment has been working with me on the channel for the longest. Has had his own YouTube channel forever, but is currently rebranding a bit. So if you ever see Panels to Screens on YouTube or potentially Twitter, I'm gonna have to nag him to update his Twitter. Panels to Screens is Saxy. Yo, we got Soul in the chat. What's good? Rocking the Dr. Stone loyalty badge. Love to see it. What's your honest thoughts on the Oscar award? I don't know, if I'm being totally honest, and I know this sounds like an obnoxious take, but I don't really pay attention to the Oscars. Part of that is because I don't really I don't make it a habit to watch every single new movie that comes out, or in particular like the big ones that come out. Excuse me. So I wouldn't know enough. I do know if you ask me what was my favorite movie of last year, it was probably Sonic 3. I would say Sonic 3 was my favorite movie that came out last year, off the top of my head. Can we talk about Thursday stuff like new Marshall King and Dr. Stone? We can. I would like to talk about Dandadan first. I'm also like 2 episodes behind on Dr. Stone, so all I know about the last 2 episodes is that they adapted that one chapter cover of Stanley and Zeno when they're like over the shoulder hugging. Excuse me. So Saxy said, hate Twitter, not sure if I'm ever going to do that buffoonery again. Yeah, I don't blame you, but we need to get you like promoting your stuff. Like I plug Soul and Townsy when I upload videos that they edit, and I can't really do that with you technically. Like I can and I can't. The Dr. Stone channel is behind on Dr. Stone. I know. I am the biggest fake Dr. Stone fan. Speaking of which, all I know is I uploaded a bunch of Dr. Stone videos, half expecting them to get like 3 views, and you guys showed up. The Dr. Stone fans showed the hell up, right? I mean, you go look at my channel right now. Dr. Stone videos, starting in January, were some of my best videos for this new year. So, yeah, Dr. Stone, if anybody tries to say Dr. Stone is dead, they are wrong. This year will be one of the biggest for anime. I'm super excited. Do we know about Frieren season 2? Have they confirmed if that's going to start in the fall? I thought Bleach was going to come out this summer, but I'm pretty sure people are saying, or Pierrot said, it's coming out in 2026. We do have Gachi Akuta. I know there's a bunch of other stuff coming out. Witch Hat Atelier is supposed to come out this year, isn't it? If I'm not totally batshit crazy. Excuse me, the Flow finally won from Lativa Nation. Yeah, Eddie, I feel like I remember you plugging that before. That's awesome. Frieren comes out next year? Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very invested in Frieren just to see how well that does, because that anime peaked, or that anime was so insanely popular. I'm curious to see if it can maintain that hype. Party Jams is also shocked. Listen, man, I'm too busy working on Dr. Stone videos to watch Dr. Stone. Well, that's not true. I didn't actually work on Dr. Stone videos for March, but I'm too busy talking about anime to watch anime. Is basically the story of my life. Witch Hat is this year. Okay. Witch Hat, I feel like, is going to be insanely popular. I don't know. Does anybody know what studio has Witch Hat? Because depending on which studio it is, I think Witch Hat could be just as popular as Frieren. I honestly like Witch Hat more than Frieren. Ashi's said, would you recommend Frieren? Is it good? So I'm not caught up on the manga. I've read as much as season 1 of the anime in the manga. But what I've read, Frieren is totally worth the investment, especially if you love fantasy. It's the studio that did Zom 100. Ooh. But yeah, it is Bug Films. So that could be either really, really good or really, really bad. Because I'm not sure off the top of my head what happened with Zom 100 and why they had to take that big break. But if that's going to happen again or something similar where like they don't know how to pace themselves with the production for Witch Hat Atelier, that could be one of the biggest disappointments in anime. Because that has all the potential to be even more popular than Frieren. Like if Madhouse had Witch Hat Atelier, it would be the biggest anime of this decade, I feel like. I don't know about To Your Eternity. I feel like those are two different kinds of series. I feel like To Your Eternity is very heavy, and Frieren is like it can be sad, but it's a lot more lighthearted and optimistic. Excuse me, Zom 100 looked amazing. It's just, for whatever reason, and I have to look it up again, they had to take that big break. And so they like killed the hype train because everyone was like so ready to watch that series. And then they had to take a break after like episode 4 or something. It's still really good. It's just It is what it is. Saxy said, did you guys know Ouji is handsome IRL? I'm handsome like Koseki from Dr. Stone is handsome. I'm short and stout. Alright, I've yapped for long enough. Let's read some Dandadan. Dandadan. Anyway, so to recap, last week they were tracking down Koki and the class rep. Excuse me. No live action? I'm not sure what you mean. Anyway, they were tracking down Koki, and then they get to the school, and everyone has their heads cut off for some random reason, and they got attacked by the alien lady in the armor, and then somebody else that I can't remember. Nah, I'm handsome. Aw, sexy. Babe. Just kidding. What theories did I have before I read Dr. Stone chapter 228? Well, I don't want to spoil anyone who hasn't read that far. So yeah, I can't really answer that question without spoiling people. Sorry. We didn't read the new chapter yet. Glad I said nothing. Yeah. I had intended on reading it before the stream, but I got caught up. I was doing a bunch of house cleaning, and then I had to cook lunch. I made saffron risotto and sauteed chicken breast with bechamel sauce. If you guys don't know, your boy is a bit of a master chef. Ouji probably blushing behind the camera. Hey man, it doesn't take a lot to stroke my ego. I'm a very vain person. So before I get into this chapter, can we just take a moment to acknowledge that excuse me, Ira said Cowabunga. Am I crazy? Is class reps spirit? Is that is the class rep's spirit, is their name Cowabunga, or did Ira just like randomly say Cowabunga? Either way, that was a very weird scene. Francois Ouji can cook. You got to make me a meal. Listen, when I'm not cooking up fire videos, I'm cooking up fire meals. I'm so glad you said ego. Yeah, I guess I set myself up for that one. Is that a quote from something? I know you literally put it in quotes, but is that a quote from something? Cook the chat something for us. I find little ways to upgrade otherwise boring meals. Like instead of chicken and rice, I'll have chicken with risotto, saffron risotto, and bechamel sauce, which is none of that is hard to make at all. So apparently by taking somebody and dunking their head, it makes their head pop off. This is a very this arc is like this arc is like the, I forget what it was called, but that little like Beethoven arc where Okaroon and Ira did the training. I feel like this has like the same vibes. Would Gordon Ramsay approve? Not at all. Gordon Ramsay would call me a wanker. He would tell me my bechamel sauce is too bland. He would tell me I overcooked the chicken. He would ask me if I learned how to plate my dish at McDonald's. Pick one, chicken or beef? Ooh, chicken, easy. I love steak, but you can do so much more with chicken. Sauteed chicken, marinated chicken, fried chicken. Ouji, I thought of that basketball video Jermaine was watching when they explained that. You know what? I didn't even think of that. That's so funny. That is so funny. You know what? That's probably why he was watching the basketball video. Eden's with the fire observations, with the 180 IQ observation. Also, I would just like to note that Soul used the Shonen Ouji exclusive Robin emoji. Well, Robin is an exclusive to the channel, but that emoji was custom made, and I have to say, I love how it came out. Pick one, chicken or Dr. Stone. All right, now listen. I love chicken, and I love science. And without science, I wouldn't be able to make chicken. But let's just be clear. If you ask me that question 10 times, I'm going to answer chicken 10 times. Excuse me. I like that it's connect because out of context is funny. Out of context, it's absolutely hilarious. And it's funny you bring that up because it was the other day, just randomly, I was thinking about when we had that conversation. So for anybody, if I didn't bring this up in the last stream, I think it's hilarious that Count Saint Germain's alias, so to speak, his persona, his like code name as a teacher is Sanjome, which is literally just how you would say Saint Germain in Japanese. So it reminded me, for anybody who's watched Rick and Morty, it's like that one episode with the vampires, and they're like, oh, Nosferatu died to the humans. And they're like, what was his name? Nosferatu? Is that his actual name? Oh, no, his real name was Jeffrey. Well, why was he calling himself Nosferatu? What was he doing, a bit? Like, I feel like Saint Germain is either really stupid or he's just like doing a bit. Like his name is Saint Germain and his code name is Saint Germain. Like, that'd be like if I was trying to go undercover, or that would be like if I started a second channel and I didn't want anybody to know about it, and I called it Shoujo Woji. Everyone would be like, wait, is that Ouji? It's like, no, that's Shoujo Woji. I feel that has to be a bit, because it's just like, it's just too stupid. Anyway, I'm rambling. So Ira is trying to save class rep. Something is coming out of the class rep's head. Okay, so the yokai is called Kawabunga. I forgot about that. Again, not to ramble, but I feel like out of our main crew, American pronunciation of Saint Germain, Saint Germain, how else would you say it? I feel like Saint Germain is... Listen, man, I don't do language, all right? I barely English, and I English pretty good. Rick and Morty and Dr. Stone crossover would break the internet for sure. Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty... I feel like it could work, but I feel like if you put Rick in Dr. Stone, he would make all of the achievements completely like trivial. Ouji Yao stream? Am I crazy? What is Yao? Because I know you don't mean Yowie. Anyway. So Cowabunga, as her name is. Oh, I was in the middle of making a point. I feel like Class Rep is like, as good as that arc was in the moment. Okay. OG Yap stream. That makes more sense. I feel like in the moment, Class Rep's arc was pretty good. But I feel like she is the weaker character of the cast. And I don't mean like literally weak, but like I feel like I care about her the least. And the fact that I can't even remember her name instead of just calling her Class Rep is a testament to that. Saint Germain? Zermain? No, get out of town. I know French is a weird language, but surely they would not say a word that looks like Germain. Zermain. Saint Germain? No, get out of town. Stop it. No way. I'm going to have to look that up later. Anyway, so these monsters are called Severed Head Dribblers. If you sneak into a gym at night to play, headless basketball players will appear. Bro, what it... Excuse me. What? Rin. Okay, thank you, Toad Sage. Yeah, no, that makes sense. What a Japanese, like, urban myth. If you go into school to play sports after hours, your head will fall off. I don't know why, but I feel like that is a uniquely Japanese urban myth. What an oddly specific thing. Okay, so Rin isn't dead. She's still talking. And Ira's like, okay, what's going on here? She's in between this world and the afterlife. Oh, so is that her spirit energy leaving her? That's no bueno. Or her aura, as it was called, I believe. I can't remember. As it stands, her life force will continue to spill out of her head until it's empty, and then she'll drift off for eternity. Wait. How did she get attacked? Oh, they literally threw a head so hard that it was like a laser. Or it was like a missile, I guess. That's pretty wild. Ren, can you sing? No, I can't sing without my body. I feel like that's kind of stupid. Because if she can talk, I feel like she should be able to sing at least a little bit. That's a little convenient. Excuse me. Wait a minute. What happened? Ira grabbed Rin's head with her hair. Oh, so she put it backwards or upside down through the helmet. Yeah, that was odd. What do you mean she can talk, but she can't? That's what I'm saying. Maybe because she doesn't have her chest, her lungs, she can't like project. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a stupid logic. Anyway, smart thinking by Ira, another common Ira W. She saves Rin, but now they're both about to lose their head again. But then Rin activates her idol transformation, which I gotta be honest, I don't like the design for. I feel like it needs to be upgraded. But anyway, she uses her powers. She scares away all the dribblers. Yeah, I gotta be honest, I'm not crazy about Rin's, like, transformation. I feel like it's really lame and, like, just awkward. Ira having her head dribbled like a basketball was hilarious. Did that happen to Ira, though? They pick her up. Oh, yeah, I guess they did. I didn't even realize that. I thought they were just, like, dragging her. That just sounds painful. Ugh. Definitely least favorite transformation design. Like, I get provocative, but it's not even provocative. It's just, like, awkward. When Rin sings, she can control gravity. Was that a thing? Was that ever confirmed? I just remembered that she could sing. I could never remember what her power was. Which is hilarious, right? Because usually gravity powers are like the most busted, really cool powers. And I feel like Rin has the lamest power up in Dandadan. Awkward and plain? Yeah, like, again, it's not even provocative. It's just like awkward and like boring. Like, she's basically just in her underwear and turtle shells. I feel like if it was more idol themed and not like entertainer themed, it would work better. Anyway, so that's the chapter. So we get an unexpected Ira and Rin team up. And then we get a verbal confirmation that Ira is in fact the leader of the Team Dandadan, if that's what you want to call them. I feel like they need a name. I feel like they need a name like the Z Fighters or something like that. The Ball Fighters or D's Nuts. DDD's Nuts. I don't know. We might have to workshop that. Anyway, that's Dandadan. Luckily, it's not on break next week, and we get another chapter. But yeah, let's talk about if people want to talk about Ball Busters. That just sound. Oh, actually, wait a minute. No, that's good. Because I was going to say that just sounds like Ghostbusters, but that is technically what they do. So I feel like Ball Busters is probably a good name. The Ball Busters. On this exciting chapter of The Ball Busters. That's funny. That kind of reminds me of, for anyone who watches Hell of a Boss, when oh my god, who was the main character of Hell of a Boss, when he's like depressed and eating ice cream and watching TV. Ballbusters kind of reminds me of that like show he was watching that was like kind of like a ghost busting show, but also like not. Speaking of Rin, I need you on Blue Exorcist. Definitely. Yeah, I've got Blue Exorcist on the list. And in case I don't have it written down, I'm going to write it down right now. Blitz. Yeah, Blitz. I forget what the name of the show was, but it was like... No. It was Blitz. It was definitely Blitz. when Blitz was depressed because he like sort of broke up with Stolas, and he's like in his office buying like collector's plates or something, and he's watching that show eating ice cream. That's what Ballbusters reminds me of. I forget what the name of the show was that he was watching. Alright, I wrote down Blue Exorcist in case I forget. Anyway, so I want to talk about Dandadan and Chainsaw Man. Not the first time this has come up on the channel, but I want to talk about it mainly because I feel like it's weird because, so I expected Chainsaw Man and Dandadan fans, so people who follow both series, to like not unanimously but mostly agree that Dandadan was better, because that was the vibe I got. And when I uploaded the video what Dandadan does better than Chainsaw Man, I got a pretty divisive reaction, I would say. But then I did the poll for which one has been better lately. And so if you go to the community tab, and if you go 3 days ago, which manga has been better lately, check out my full thoughts on here. Or, excuse me, I'm just reading the whole thing. Which manga has been better lately, Dandadan or Chainsaw Man? To my surprise, it is, with, mind you, 2.3 thousand votes. It is split down the middle, 50-50. So, on the one hand, I feel like that was a lot closer than I thought, because I would have thought Dandadan. I thought it would have been 60-40 Dandadan, but to be totally honest, I feel like that just speaks to how good Dandadan is getting and how popular it's getting, because Dandadan is a younger series, and it's done by oh my god, I'm totally blanking. Tatsu. It's done by Tatsu, who, you know, isn't a rookie, but this is his first serialization, or his first like actual serialization. So it's him versus Fujimoto, who not only was like his mentor to an extent, but, you know, Fujimoto has published a bunch of different manga, and he's on his second serialization, and yet Dandadan is right up there, literally neck and neck with Chainsaw Man. So yeah, I feel like Dandadan is still, even after all of the popularity, I feel like it's still slept on. How many hours until the next chapter in English? If you're talking about Dandadan, it's already out, so I'm not sure what you mean. Toad Sage said, I haven't read Chainsaw Man Part 2, but I've heard mixed things about it. Yeah, it's been kind of a roller coaster. Did Tatsu not have any one-shots prior to Dandadan? I'm not sure off the top of my head. I know he worked on a bunch of stuff prior to Dandadan. I know he pitched a bunch of stuff, but I think he had like either one shot or a few one-shots, but he hasn't, to my knowledge, he hasn't had like a serialized manga prior to Dandadan. So to my knowledge, Dandadan is like, it's like, that's like his technical debut, I guess you would say. Edens, what do you mean not from what I've seen? Are you saying the 50-50 is not representative of the community? What do you mean? But yeah, um, excuse me. It's weird because Dandadan is still fairly new-ish, all right? Um, the one-shot question, yeah, I I know he pitched a bunch of series. I don't know if he actually has like a legit published one-shot. Why is Chainsaw Man still going? Because as weak as it can be sometimes, it's still really, really good. And it's still very popular. Um, still has decent sales. Um, and the anime was also very popular. And also they have a movie. So they kind of want to see Chainsaw Man do well. Anyway, so my point that I was trying to get to was I feel like it's weird because Dandadan and Chainsaw Man occupy the same space, literally and figuratively. They're both on Jump Plus, and obviously Tatsu worked for Fujimoto. At the same time, a lot of the people who were Dandadan fans were Chainsaw Man fans first, I feel like. So it's weird because you would think, like, if everyone is on the same page about Dandadan and all of those people read Chainsaw Man first, you would think, oh, so everyone just agrees Dandadan is kind of better than Chainsaw Man. But it's like split down the middle, 50-50. I would be curious to run a poll, like a poll, to see, like, of the people who think Chainsaw Man is better, what percent of those people are only Chainsaw Man fans? Because I feel like if you read both, it's only natural to say that Dandadan has a slight advantage. Whereas I feel like if you only follow Chainsaw Man and like you watched the anime for Dandadan, or you like haven't really checked out Dandadan, then you're going to be inclined to defend Chainsaw Man. What was epic was the Kaiju number 8. So I'm guessing you mean the new chapter. I don't really follow Kaiju number 8 anymore. I'm happy to see it doing well, but it's just not a series I'm really interested in anymore. Every time a chapter drops, it's always trending on Twitter. So Chainsaw Man, yeah, that's the thing, right? Is like Chainsaw Man is still popular-ish. Like it's still mainstream, and people still follow the series. Excuse me, but I feel like Chainsaw Man is kind of at a point right now where like people only want to talk about it when something bad happens. And then when there's like a genuinely good chapter, people are like, okay, cool. So I don't know, Chainsaw Man is in a weird spot. Excuse me, it's not in a bad spot. It's just in a weird spot, I feel like. Whereas Dandadan is just increasingly getting better and stronger. On that note, I think this is a good point to wrap up the stream. I kind of said everything I want to say about Dandadan versus Chainsaw Man. Unless anyone has any quick questions. On that note, expect a Dr. Stone / Marshall King if Marshall King is coming out Thursday. I know it was supposed to be bi-weekly, so I don't know if there is a new chapter. I feel like it should, because it's been weekly. So I feel like that whole bi-weekly thing was a bunch of cockapoo. But yeah, Dr. Stone and or Marshall King on Thursday, and hopefully some another Yap session. We can shoot the breeze about the current anime climate, so to speak. W stream Soul, please. I already blushed once. Don't make me blush again. See you Thursday. And is it coming out Thursday? I'm not sure what you mean. We need that Yap stream one day for real, just talking about everything. Yeah, probably once I set up my camera. It's a little easier to yap if I'm face to face, so to speak. I feel like I already kind of do it, but yeah, I want to do more freestyle streams, but part of the difficulty is, one, it's kind of hard to plan those. And then the other difficulty is YouTube is terrible with streams right now. It used to be better before they started copying Twitch and TikTok, but ever since they like revamped the live tab and like streams, it's been much harder to get discovered during streams. So you kind of have to make the streams clickbaity, and so I try to like come up with at least one tangible topic for the stream. But yeah, I will try to include more freestyling, so to speak. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. Look out for videos this week. Look out for a monthly update either this afternoon or tomorrow. Videos, and then a stream Thursday. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for a great discussion, and I'll see you soon. Peace.